everyone, welcome to Jurge Ryan Video Games for the month of April. My name is Jurge.
I'm Ryan.
We're going to talk about the news of April, the games that come out in April, and the stuff that's coming out soon that we're excited for. It was a pretty slim picking month up until recently. Nintendo had a investors meeting, or earnings report.
Oh, we're just getting right into it.
Yeah, we're just going to go right into it because this stuff is fucking... This is
Bananas.
heavy. It's heavy, so... Big news, hot news. So let's go. Zelda Wii U, which was announced in 2015, is delayed to 2017, and is coming out on the Wii U and the NX.
Yes.
So that also means that the NX is coming out in March of 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So it was weird that they went in this meeting, right? And they just put it out there. Like in black and white text, because there were like transcripts out there. Yeah. And it's just like, there it is. And it's like, what? Okay. So let's break it down. So I think the first one is the NX is coming out March 2017.
Which seems later than... Which is not what we expected.
No. Everything pointed to it's coming out in 2016, because it would make sense. You would imagine at a long... Like about a year and a half ago, the Zelda team knew that they were going to have to put it on the NX, and then it would make sense that at that point, because was it the was it the Direct? Was it earlier this year, the Direct, where they showed that 1 second of Epona and Link on there, and it said 2016? Was that this year, or was that 2015?
That was at the end of their Direct where they announced Twilight Princess HD, which I believe was in November.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
So at that point, it would make sense, because at that point, they probably still thought this NX thing was still scheduled for 2016, and they could hit it at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But now we know that it's coming 2017, and this is also comes with the news that they are not going to talk about NX at E3.
Which is weird.
Which is very weird.
But instead...
They're going to talk about Zelda at E3.
But not only that, that's going to be their only playable game on the
that
show
is their
floor.
Only playable game on their show floor.
Not the NX version.
No, not the NX version.
The Wii U version.
What?
It's weird. It's really weird.
Again, I just can't... I have a hard time understanding that, because they said it, like, plain, like, no misunderstandings. The main focus of E3 will be Zelda.
And they announced that on the press release. They announced it in a tweet that came out at like 2 in the morning on the official account. E3 will be all about Zelda. It will be the only thing, pretty much.
And it's just like, what? There's that tweet that was going on about, like, man, people's like fake E3 leaks are going to be very boring this year for Nintendo. It's just a blank sheet of paper, and it's just Legend of Zelda for Wii U. And that's it.
It feels like to me that they're trying to go the Bethesda route that they did last year, which was only Fallout 4 pretty much. And a lot of people thought they won because Fallout 4 was such a big thing. But Nintendo's different.
Yeah, but even then they had Doom. They should have Doom.
They did have Doom. But their focus was mostly on Fallout.
Sure. But I just can't, like, are they even going to have a Direct? Like, is the Direct literally going to be like, hey, let's talk about Zelda for an hour? Is that what it's going to be?
I don't know. Because they have Tokyo Mirage Sessions that comes out
before. Pretty sure. Is it after?
Yeah.
Oh, but I don't think they're gonna give that game the time of day.
They might talk about it a little. I would imagine. You would assume they would, because it's something that's coming out soon.
I just don't think so, man.
But this reminds me. They're only talking about Zelda U.
I don't think they're gonna talk about that game at all. I think they're just gonna.
So are they gonna have like a 15-minute Nintendo Direct that week that's just about that?
About what, Tokyo?
No, about Zelda.
I think the whole... If what they're telling us is factual, and they're saying it's about Zelda, then I honestly believe that's the only thing they're going to talk about for an hour. And it's fucking wild. I don't understand.
I mean, from their standpoint, I think they said that they're going to talk about the NX later this year.
Yes.
They're going to reveal everything else later this year.
Right. So you would imagine, there was also some rumor and speculation on that it sounds like they will have like their own event to talk about NX. Similar to how like the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One.
Yeah, a Space World type thing is what I was thinking.
Bring back Space World 2K16.
Man, that'd be cool. But That's what I would assume, that they would do something like maybe at the end of summer. I think the latest would be end of summer.
Yeah, I don't think you want to go in the fall.
No, because the only reason I can imagine them doing this is because they don't. They might be aware that Sony and Xbox
have the stuff to
have big stuff to show, and they're really the people who dominate E3. No matter how cool Nintendo might be that year, I feel like people pay more attention to them, so they might just be saying, "Hey, let's just really step back from this."
Sure, I could see that, but
and then having their own separate event where all the video game media is just focused on them.
Yeah, that part I agree more than the other thing, because you would imagine that the idea of a brand new Nintendo console with new Nintendo first-party software can be way more exciting than a more powerful PlayStation or an Xbox. Which I can understand that would take more of attention because more people have Xbox than PlayStation. They're more interested. But I think the idea of, I don't know, just not talking about NX at all at E3, I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know. Like, does it help you if you just kind of talk about it at E3? Or if you just not talk about it at all and wait till this event where you can soak up all the attention?
It's just weird because traditionally this is when people really talk about their new consoles. Like, that's how it's always been.
Yeah. But then again, Nintendo did this in 2011, and it was a fucking disaster. So maybe they should have their own press conference.
It was a disaster, not
actually, but it's just a disaster.
Because
like,
they did it too early, and the only game they showed off for the Wii U was like Lego City Undercover. It's coming, everyone's excited, and you heard like the one woo from the audience. And it was a good game, but that's not a game that would get people excited for a new console.
Right. So the idea,
but that's going back to the Wii U being weird.
Yes, because them not being at E3 with the NX makes sense. It's hard to say for sure if it is a fumble. You want to immediately say it is because E3 is such a big deal, and them not being there seems kind of weak. But you know what? Now that I think about it, with their past, the way they handled the Wii U at E3, maybe they should have their own conference, and maybe they should just have a bunch of journalists just focus on that thing instead of having it be like the third conference they go to and write about, and it just gets lost in everything else. Maybe they should just have their own conference. Maybe, yeah. I think that makes more sense now. Yeah. It's just weird because we were all expecting it, and because they told us.
Yeah, they told us you'll know in 2016. And like, oh, E3 probably. Like, that's without a doubt.
Yeah.
But no.
And it's also weird that it's so weird that they're talking openly about it. Like, their Twitter account's like, the future of Nintendo will be revealed.
Hashtag NX.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like, no one knows what this is. I saw someone tweet, is like, oh, will you wait for the NX version of Zelda? It's like, I don't even know what this thing is. I don't know anything about it.
Like, we don't know if it's a handheld or a console.
No.
Or if it's both.
We don't know if it's got the fucking Division fucking guys in the trees.
So, I mean, whatever it is, it has to be powerful enough to run Zelda U.
So you would imagine it's at least powerful than the Wii U.
It's at least as powerful as the Wii U.
Yeah.
But according to rumors, it's apparently better than a PS4. But
I don't believe that for a second.
Look, man, the NX, man.
Sure.
Who knows what it is?
I don't know, man. I feel like we're giving it too much credit. So
it's hard to because we don't know anything about it. So it's easy to assume either the best or the worst out of it.
Yes, absolutely. And there's the other thing. We don't even know what the heck the Zelda is. We don't even know what it is.
Hey, we'll know at E3. We know that for certain.
Sure, that's a good point. And the idea
that's the one thing we'll know walking out of E3.
That's true. What is Zelda?
What is Zelda?
Man, I didn't even... Can we talk about Zelda for a little bit? Because they have all this... They're really building Zelda up to be this giant fucking monumentous fucking thing. And I don't know if they've proven to us that we should really be excited for this new Zelda. Like, I get it. A Zelda game is exciting, but I feel like everyone's really tired of the traditional 3D Zelda, and they've said that they're going to do new things with it. But
like, the one thing we do know is that the one, like, the Game Awards thing where Miyamoto was like, it's coming out in 2015 for sure, the same year as Star Fox.
Yeah.
And he was showing off, like, the huge overworld, and they were talking about how it's going to be more open world and how you'll have more freedom with choosing which order to do dungeons in.
Ugh, that sounds so boring, though.
I mean, that worked for A Link Between Worlds.
I guess
but then again,
that
was its only mechanic.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't its only mechanic. It was just, that was one big feature, was you could just do it in any order.
It feels like it feels almost like we're asking too much from Nintendo because what people want from Nintendo is a new and exciting console that has a lot of software. Well, yeah, does well, supported well. But then what people want from Zelda pretty much as well is like, I want you to completely reinvent what this series has been. And I want that.
Ocarina of Time again.
No, fuck no. They've been doing that for years, and I don't want that anymore. And here's what I'm saying. You turn Zelda into Dark Souls. So there you go. It's fixed.
Okay.
No, I really do think that, because part of me really does feel that Dark Souls is probably what Zelda used to be. At least the NES one. But I don't know, I feel like something has to change. Or it's hard to get excited about.
I mean, and Dark Souls is built on that whole, like... It was also built on that NES mechanic of... The thing about the NES Zelda was...
Here you are.
That really was the game that people had. No one really had, like, a lot of stuff to choose from. So it's like, we don't have to tell you shit about this game. You're just going to play it.
Yeah, and here you are, and you go wander around.
Spray this candle on this one tree. That's who unlocked the final dungeon. How do you know that? Fuck off. Yeah. That's why. That's similar to Dark Souls, how it's just, like... difficult, and it's like you're gonna beat this boss eventually. It's gonna take it forever, but you're gonna do it,
and you're gonna go walk around and find stuff. So I don't know, it's just I feel like some new energy or something new needs to be injected into Zelda to get really excited about it. And who knows, at E3 maybe they'll be like, this is like what this game is, what our vision is for it, you should be really excited about it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know, and it's just bizarre. I don't know what to do. Like, it's hard to speculate about
a game where we did get a new piece of concept art for it. That was very nice of them.
Was that a thing?
Yeah, they gave us a little concept art of Link with his fancy new bow and arrow.
Oh.
That's all glowy.
Oh, really?
They gave us something out of this, George. They gave us one thing out of it.
I don't know. But along with this news, I've just been reflecting on the Wii U and kind of I feel like the Wii U is not... I didn't buy my Wii U. I got it as a gift, but I really don't feel like it was a console worth investing in. I truly don't. I mean, looking back on it,
I bought it at launch. I very much like my Wii U. I think it's a really good... I think it has a lot of cool games on it. Third-party wise, not really. And it has a lot of like unexpected stuff, like Hyrule Warriors and...
Yeah, but again, that's not stuff I'd say like, oh, you should buy this console. Period. Not even like there's nothing like Mario Maker is the only thing.
Mario Maker, Splatoon is great, but those just came out. And then even something like Super Mario 3D World, I didn't care for.
Really? I thought it was really good. I feel like a lot of the games you could be like, okay, so you invested in this thing, I guess. You should probably play this, I guess. It's not something I could be like, oh, this console is great because of this. It's more like this console is, I don't know. How do you know how to describe it? Like your investment. If you invested in this thing, so I guess you should play this. I don't know, man. I like Mario Kart and I love Smash, but I feel like
those things are like a given. Like
right,
like you know that's what you're gonna get eventually, and those experiences are already available on other Nintendo consoles, and they're very good experiences there.
Yeah,
like Double Dash is still the best Mario Kart ever made.
I think the new one is personally.
The new one's great, but I don't know, something about Double Dash really hits me home. And with Smash, Smash is weird. I never really played much of Melee. And I do like the newest one probably the best, but...
Yeah, I just... Well, my point is, I just feel like Nintendo just has so much to prove, even to, like, the hardcore. And I think, like, even the most hardcore Nintendo person is even kind of skeptical about them after, like, the Wii U. Because it's just, like, I don't know, man. And now we're here in this last year, pretty much, of the Wii U. Like, Zelda's gonna come out, kind of like what happened with the Wii. Skyward Sword comes out, and, like, that's it.
And then there was a Year of Dead.
That's it.
And then that was it, yeah.
That's it. And it's weird just being in this fucking limbo. Like, we got... Star Fox came out recently, and that's really mixed. And, like, Tokyo Mirage Sessions is coming out, but that's not really a game for...
That's gonna be, like, a good game, but I don't think...
That's not really a game for everyone.
That excites people.
I don't think I'm gonna walk into a Target and be like, it's fucking... Here's this anime game. I mean, like...
And, like, we're sold out. Everyone just wanted that anime game.
Like, and then, like, you got Paper Mario's fucking...
Color Splash.
Color Splash, which is... They're, like... It sounds like from that meeting that they think it's going to be a big deal, but I truly don't think it's going to be a big deal at all. Like, it's going to come out.
It looks From what we've seen of it, it looks too similar to Sticker Star, and people really didn't like that direction they took the series.
Yeah, you want the best for Nintendo. You really want to believe that this is going to be it. It's going to come out and
it's going to save all the problems.
And there's been some speculation from some reports from like Emily Rogers on Twitter saying like, hey, like they're really combining their like internal teams, and a lot of software is going to be pumped out for this thing once it comes out. But it's just so hard to stay optimistic. It really is. It's just,
especially when they reveal this whole
this plan.
This plan of Zelda only at E3, NX in 2017, which is a year away.
Yeah, it is a year away. And we still don't know that much about NX. Like, I would have hoped by now I'd know more. Or at least in 2 months when E3.
By now I would know. Like,
but it sounds like no.
More. But they're really being... I mean, that might be good because they showed off the Wii U too early, and then...
Sure, that's true.
And then PlayStation was able to do what the Wii U did with the Vita and the PlayStation 4. Not a lot of stuff did that. Like that kind of like dual screen stuff.
Yeah.
And off-screen TV play was something else that did.
Yeah.
You could play your PS4 games on your PS Vita. And then Xbox had like a few games for all that had like tablet experiences.
Yeah, that was like early this generation. That's not even...
Yeah,
that's like disappeared completely.
They do not do that anymore.
That's a weird thing.
Much like a lot of Xbox's peripherals. Yeah. They just kind of disappear after a year.
Yeah. God, that's so weird. Remember 2013, 2014, where it was like, the second app experience. That's a...
Oh, man, I'm going to be able to look at a map.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm excited for the NX, I guess. I just really want to see what this conference...
I'm tired of trying to figure out what it is myself. I want to have, like, some direction, and then I can really think, okay... This is it. This is how it could work. This is how they could do it. Instead, it feels like we're gonna know about this too late, and then it'll be like, it's coming out fucking next month, guys. Get ready. It's like, what is this thing you're selling?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what it feels.
This isn't an iPhone where you can just put it out the window. This is something a lot bigger than that.
And like you could say like, oh hey, they're gonna come out and they're gonna be like, here's all the software. Here's Zelda. We're gonna have Zelda. We might even have some ports of some Wii U games. And we're gonna have a new Mario game, and this is working. The people are working on this and this and this.
Luigi's Mansion 3 is like a big, like rumored. This is coming out for launch.
Pikmin 4 as well.
Pikmin 4 too, yeah.
Yeah, but even like, it feels like a hope or a dream that that they're gonna come out.
A dream of edX.
Yeah, like it just seems so far fetched. They're gonna come out and just really knock your socks off. It's just. We're at a point where like faith in Nintendo is just really low, and you want them to succeed, and you want them to blow you away.
If they pump out all these games for the NX, if they pump out Zelda and a Smash and a Luigi's Mansion and Pikmin and like launch, that won't matter if no one's buying it because it's some weird thing that people don't get yet.
Yeah.
So if it's similar to the Wii U like that, where people... Well, I think another issue with the Wii U was the marketing for it. Yeah. It seemed like just another peripheral for the Wii. And
again, just like I said, from day one, from that 2011 press conference, like even press where they're like, "What? What are they talking about? Is this
what?"
Because they're like, "Is this a new console?" Oh, okay.
Yeah, because the first trailer they had for it,
it was at the end of their press conference. They like put it at the end of that press conference, that little sizzle reel.
Yeah, and in the sizzle reel, it only had the gamepad.
Yes.
And you could just barely see the console in the background.
And so everyone was like, is this a thing? I don't know. I remember being a little confused when it happened.
Yeah, it's... I love the Wii U. They did not do a good job with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even love it.
Which is a shame because I think there's a lot of potential in it. And I think if I think if they made a few changes along the way, marketing and like a few hardware things, it would have been something that people would really be loving.
And they never even capitalized on that vision that it did have for it. Like you go play something like you go back and play Nintendo Land and all that asynchronous fucking weird cool stuff they did with multiplayer. And they never did that again. They never did. It was such a shame.
Mario Party 10 did that a little, but that was only focused on like one part of the game.
Like, I'm surprised they never made, like, a D&D-like game where one person with a gamepad is, like, a dungeon master, and like everyone else is like, but they never did any of that.
They
cool
like
stuff.
put that idea out there and was like, "Hey, developers, you should do this." But then developers were like, "Why would we do that when no one's buying your console?"
Yeah,
like that's interesting, but
like Zombie U is kind of fascinating what they did with that stuff as well. But
and like you said, I love Nintendo Land. That's a great game. But
that is an awesome
not
game.
a game that's gonna get people to
No, and it's also not very substantial. It felt like here is like some of the stuff we're messing around with and what we hope this console will be, and that never happened at all.
Yeah.
Never happened at all. I don't know, man. Yeah. I hope it's exciting. I hope the new console's cool. So, that was most of the NX stuff. Zelda coming out in 2017. It sounds like it'll be a launch title for the NX.
Yeah, Nintendo America's press site said March 2017.
And it's also when the console's coming out, so you would imagine it's a launch title.
It better be.
It fucking better be a launch title. But yeah, along with that, they also expanded on the DNA stuff. Some new games are coming out this fall. They are making a Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing mobile game for the mobile platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it sounds. I'm not really sure. Again, I don't remember if they really delve in like what that's going to be, like what the plan is for it. I don't know. I mean, there are certainly like examples of strategy games, like in terms of Fire Emblem on mobile, things like Clash of Clans or like Game of War or whatever the hell. Animal Crossing seems like a lot more easier kind of sell for mobile because it's a lot more casual. You could even see something like Happy Home Designer-esque.
Yeah, I don't think for Fire Emblem they did talk about how it's going to be like a full Fire Emblem experience, but it's going to be more simplistic in the way the game is played, like in the overhaul structure of that. So that's exciting. But for Animal Crossing, they were a lot more ambiguous with what it was.
Yeah. And it could be a lot of things too.
Because I mean,
Animal Crossing is very malleable.
Yeah, and then the only real thing they said is it's going to be able to connect with other versions of the series.
Right, that's right.
Which
was interesting. Which is very interesting.
Which makes me think it can't be New Leaf, the 3DS version, because that's old, and I doubt they would release an update to that.
It can't be Amiibo Festival.
Because that's not a game.
Yeah.
And Happy Home Designer is not really a game either, so that makes the assumption of, is there going to be a real Animal Crossing for the Wii U or for the NX?
That's where I remember that. Like, it sounds like there's going to be a new one.
And that'd be really cool if you had an Animal Crossing
that you had with you on your phone that links to a home console version.
Yeah. Because
then
really that would remove the need. That would be like having.
Because a lot of people said because there was people that wanted a new Animal Crossing for Wii U, but when you really think about it, it's like it seems like Animal Crossing's made for a portable because you want to take it because there's events and stuff. But this would solve that, right? Like you would have check-in stuff you could do on your phone and come home and do a lot more deeper, richer thing on the console. Because
I still think one of the better Animal Crossing games ever made was the original, and that was mostly because of just how it was structured for the big screen, and that was really cool. Wild World was really good, but it kind of felt weird having that mobile thing because they cut out a lot of content from that, and New Leaf solved a lot of that too. But I think having like a big version at home that you could access somehow on mobile would be best.
That sounds good.
But then is it a game, like, can you not play that game unless you have
is it a companion or is it an actual game?
Which is weird.
Or it could just be something stupid in Nintendo. It's just like, you got a fucking bell for checking in on the Animal Crossing app. I don't know. The Fire Emblem thing, again, I don't even know, like, would you see Fire Emblem as being like an actual, just like a $10 release on the Android or Apple store? Or like I don't even know, or do you make it a microtransaction nightmare? Like something like Clash of Clans.
Oh boy.
It's
not going to be free or like $2.
Yeah, me either. I think it's like a $10 thing.
But then you can't go too high because Square does like 20.
They do, right? Yeah. Some of their Final Fantasy
ports. Those don't do too well.
Good enough for what they cost. They got good.
I mean, again,
they're not mass market.
I know, but
they do good enough.
So I think this has to be a weird middle ground because people assume App Store games are like free or $2.
Yeah. I don't know if you have two versions of it or something. I don't know. And I don't know if the mobile market want a Fire Emblem game for their phones. I mean, maybe the hardcore people. Well, then again, maybe they don't want.
I think the plan is Fire Emblem and Animal Crossing have huge fan base as it is. So I think the plan is to get them downloading that game. Yeah. And then other people would see that and then try it out.
Sure, and get them comfortable with them. Like, here's a Nintendo game on a handheld. Well, because there is Miitomo, that's really not really the game. It doesn't solve the question, like, what does a Nintendo mobile game look like? Like, what is it? It doesn't answer that question. And so maybe if you get that hardcore console or handheld person on your mobile device playing a Fire Emblem game and tell them, like, hey, here, it's still pretty good, it's still Fire Emblem. And you'll be like, oh, it is Fire Emblem, cool. Now I can tell my fucking dumb coworker who thinks I'm a nerd to play Fire Emblem.
And then he'll be able to play it because it'll just be on his phone and he can just get it. Which is interesting.
Yeah, that's exciting.
But again, with the whole E3 thing, you think this would be something they talk about there? Because those are two of their biggest properties right now.
That's true.
And those are games that are coming out this year, they said.
Yeah.
So when are they going to talk about those?
Yeah, because Miitomo was never in a never in a direct or a press conference.
No, they just released it.
They just released it,
which I don't think did it super well. It caught on, like they have 100 million users, but I feel like that dropped off after.
But it was also free.
It was also free too. But for this, they
I
really
can't imagine
sell it.
I can't imagine the Animal Crossing was probably at least $2 or something. Because I'm scared that they talk about their mobile apps being still the Nintendo quality that you expect from them, but from the way they treated Miitomo, it seems like they're trying to distance them. And
that's definitely what I thought too.
Right? And so you kind of don't expect them to be at the E3 conference thing?
Which is weird because Miitomo had a huge integration with their new account system.
Right.
It has its own specific set of coins that you use to buy Nintendo stuff.
And it wants you to go to Miiverse, and it wants you to go to the eShop on the 3DS or Wii U.
But yet, Nintendo doesn't talk about it in their main things. I don't always watch their Nintendo Minutes. I watch them rarely, and they might have talked about it there, but...
Maybe.
Really, it's just weird.
Yeah.
So it's with these... Because they're actual games and they need to sell them, I feel like they need to... Yeah. They definitely need to talk about that.
Yeah, because hardcore people do have a tendency to push back against mobile games, but if Nintendo is serious about this stuff being hey, this is a Nintendo game, then they need to put that in their conference and sell people on the idea, because if you put this much distance on, no one's ever going to believe you that it is.
Because with Animal Crossing, talk about how it's connecting to other versions of the game, and then I think regardless, people would get into that because then it's it's just an extension of my
Animal Crossing home console thing.
Yeah, so why would I not just get that? Yeah. But with Fire Emblem, they're saying how that's a full game, and that's different, I feel. They're both very different ideas in attempts at the mobile market, which I think they both could do very well. Yeah. It just depends. I don't know how good... I haven't played a lot of DNA's games, and you've been saying that DNA's making these, or it's assumed that DNA is making these. Yeah. So it's
I don't know, it seemed... man. So, did DNA make Miitomo? I think so.
I assume...
I don't know, it's so weird, because Nintendo owns part of DNA now. Yeah. So, maybe they're just, they have... a hybrid of a Nintendo team and a DNA team come together and make something, because that does not feel like a DNA game, because DNA games feel like fucking mobile games. Yeah. What you picture of a mobile game, this microtransaction fucking cheap kind of thing, that's what they've made. And the Miitomo does feel like a Nintendo game. In the worst ways and in the best ways, I think.
Oh boy. But we'll get to that later.
Sure. But... yeah, I think that was it for that. And then we have a lot of people on the internet, people like inside sources, people like who work for the Wall Street Journal, and Emily Rogers, adding some supplemental little details to this NX stuff and the future of Nintendo. You hear things like Emily Rogers swears that they really are combining their handheld and console divisions to really put out a bunch of software for the NX, which you would hope is true. Yeah. Because, like I said, I always said, when you really think about it, Nintendo publishes out a lot of games if you combine both their divisions.
But no one buys both. Or very few people buy both of them.
Yeah, both, this console and this console. Yeah. Yeah.
So having what's two teams work on
one thing. You would imagine like
that's going to double everything.
Yeah, and you would have enough stopgaps there that you might not even miss those third-party developers. And even with those third-party developers, Emily was also talking about how Nintendo's going to be giving more of their IP to third-party studios. Like you saw that with Koei Tecmo and Metroid and Hyrule Warriors.
But those felt like exceptions. Like these
they
weird
did.
like here's the one cool third-party thing we're doing for right now instead of having like.
I mean, I guess there's Pokken as well. But
Yeah,
then again,
too.
they also helped with Smash Brothers. So this whole like we have seen them open their gates a little bit more, but I think
we're gonna see a
that
lot
even
more.
more,
Of that.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Like again, there was that story that like before the Wii U's launch, they approached Criterion Games to make an F-Zero game, and they're like, we just can't. We're too busy. And I remember when that news went out, everyone was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" The developer I'd want an F-Zero game. The people who made Burnout. You asked them to make an F-Zero game, and it never happened. Fucking what? God damn, it'd be so good.
That would have been.
It'd be so good.
It could still happen. It could still happen. NX. Anything's possible.
Nobody cares about F-Zero. Nobody cares about Criterion Games
Oh
anymore.
man.
Yeah. I think that's all the Nintendo news. That's hot news, fresh news. And other than that, it's really been kind of not a really busy week in terms of things that I really find interesting. Of course, there's more additional details about the PlayStation 4K, or it's PlayStation Neo.
Oh boy.
As we now know, because of Austin Walker for Giant Bomb, who was able to get documents, developer documents, saying like, pretty much here's the specs for this thing, and that stuff was interesting. From those spec things, it says it doesn't seem like a giant leap, but the more interesting thing about it was like how specific they're like, you cannot divide people, like you can't have exclusive game modes on PS4.5 that aren't in the base PS4, which is interesting because I always thought that they were making this new PS4.5 for VR stuff, right? Because PS4 isn't that strong, and eventually you're going to hit that threshold probably in the first year.
Definitely the first year.
Right, but then it says like, okay, well you can't have a game that's exclusive for PS4.5. So that automatically excludes that from happening.
So why are they making it?
Exactly. Like, what's the point?
What are they selling here besides a whole new PlayStation?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like from the documentation is like the minimum has to be 1080p. It's so weird, like how Sony was bad about this, like because they recently upgraded the PSN, and there's just some weird tidbits. Like they're up, like now it says resolution. And I was like, well, obviously it's gonna be like I don't expect anything less than 720. I don't see them writing down 720p, and it says like hardware support. It's like hardware support. What the fuck does that even mean? So they were evidence that this stuff is happening.
Sony's never been very good about that. I don't think.
No, no, and no one's good about anything anymore.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
just. I guess if I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but today yesterday they accidentally leaked the new Call of Duty. The title was on the PSN. But yeah, I don't know.
It's called like Infinity Warfare.
Infinity Warfare.
Man, what a great title.
I love how dark that title is. I've talked about that on Twitter. It's like, I love the idea of just how Infinity War. Like, the war never stops. We will forever be killing our men and women.
You will always buy our games.
That too, right? Yes. Yeah, you will always be killing, and you will always be consuming.
Fucking consumer assholes.
Also, Infinity Warfare... IW, Infinity War, they make Call of Duty, they make this game.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah. I don't find the PlayStation 4.5 stuff very interesting. I don't know why. I just don't, it's like, I mean, I think, in terms of, like, history, when you look back on it, whatever happens right now, it is exciting that at this point, consoles took a giant change, whatever this whole thing was.
A very 90s change.
Sure, very 90s, very, I don't know, very current, consumerist way.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, everyone's like, why are they doing this? Because it is confusing. Like, why are they doing this? Like, they're selling PS4s. But I truly feel like there's someone at the Sony headquarters, like, being like, yo, there's an iceberg coming. Like, this isn't going to last forever. We got to change things. Either that or someone at Sony being like, yo, the PlayStation thing is the only thing that's selling. How do we sell more? How do we get the person who already bought one to buy another one?
I need them to make a stack of PS4s like they did in Chappie.
Yes. And upload their human consciousness. That's PlayStation VR 2. Here we go. We're gonna. But yeah.
But how do we get 16 PlayStation 4s in a household? wait, we can make it simpler, make it more powerful. They looked it by 4.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
So yeah, there's that stuff. Again, it would be interesting to see how. I would fucking love if E3 goes by, no one mentions it. It's just like, okay, and everyone's just with their fucking thumbs up their ass.
So
like,
what would they talk about at E3 if they don't have a new thing?
I mean, they have games, right? They both have games.
I hope.
Yeah, you sure fucking hope. I mean, yeah.
Is Sony gonna only bring The Last of Us 2? Is that all they're gonna do? I would love that. If everyone came to E3 with only one game.
Yeah, right? Everyone's like, we got this one game. Here you go.
Last of Us 2, we got Infinity Warfare.
Gears of War 4, here it is. That's really funny.
Inside is still not coming out.
Fucking, what the fuck is up with that game? One of the lead people over there left and it has their own studio now.
Oh no.
I forgot what their game was, but it looked cool. I can't remember. But yeah, what the fuck happened like 2 years ago, right?
I'm still upset about that. I still think about that game like every day.
2 years ago. Yeah, it's been 2 years since they revealed that game.
Man. And they've been talking about it since Limbo came out.
Yeah, they have been. Mm-hmm. But then, that E3, like, that wouldn't be the only fucking Microsoft exclusive that would have gotten canned if it not, or whatever. Phantom Dust, remember Phantom Dust?
No.
You remember Phantom Dust? Phantom Dusted? Alright, so yeah, that was pretty much, Nintendo and PlayStation 4.5 stuff is probably the biggest month of April. Everything else is kind of small. Some stuff we're looking at, again, new Call of Duty was looking announced.
Whatever.
It's got Call of Duty 4 remastered, which I know that I want to shit on that, but I'm kind of happy for the people who like Call of Duty because that's literally the only thing that would have made them fucking like off the moon fucking happy. Because people, I don't know. I get that, but then it'd be really sad if like the game they get the remastered version and it's just like I don't. Kind of like with Star Fox Zero, like they get the game they wanted and they're like, was this ever good? But no, Call of Duty 4 is a good game. So yeah, smaller news. In terms of Jurge.com news, got Persona 5. On their website, there's a countdown timer. And it seems to be counting down to a live stream. A Japanese live stream.
Wasn't that supposed to come out last year? Isn't that what they originally said?
Ryan, when they revealed the game, it was supposed to come out in 2014. So I don't fucking know. And then it was like 2015. And then
this is the Zelda Wii U of anime games.
It is. And now it's coming out in 2016 when one of the biggest JRPGs is coming out, Final Fantasy 15.
Oh no.
So I don't know. But anyways, yeah, Persona 5 countdown timer. It's gonna go to a live event, live stream thing. You would assume that is when they reveal, here's the date, here's a new trailer, here's a special edition or whatever.
Yeah, they definitely do.
Those motherfuckers, I'm telling you what, those motherfuckers better have a worldwide release date. Like, it better be worldwide. I'm telling you.
I feel like at this point it
has to be because it's been delayed so much, right?
Yeah.
But they haven't shown any English footage.
Oh no.
But then again, Final Fantasy 15 had that event, and they didn't show English footage either.
Could they be doing the Tokyo Mirage Session style, where it's all in Japanese with English subtitles?
Or, no, I doubt it.
I don't know much of Persona, but is it that much influenced by Japanese culture?
Oh yeah, but people really like the English voice actors.
Okay.
People really like it's like some of the best translation. It's so good. I love it. So yeah, there's that. So a group of someone from NeoGAF hacked their website, I guess, and put up like a release date, and it's coming to PC as well or whatever. And then I don't know. Apparently the password, I might be mistaken this, but John Harden, who is their PR at Atlas, and I guess now PR for Sega as well, he was like, they should really switch the password. I guess the password is Persona 5, I think.
What?
Yeah, he's like, we really shouldn't have the password as the name of the game or something.
Are you kidding me?
There was something like that. I remember seeing something on NeoGAF where he was like, the password was something really stupid. It was something really dumb.
Persona like, 5 coming 2014.
Sonic is cool because they're owned by Sega now. Which they're also, it was revealed recently, they're doing the translation for Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Atlas is. Other small news. Mirror's Edge got delayed by 2 weeks. They had their closed beta, which was very confusing. When they announced they were having a beta, I was like, isn't Mirror's Edge a single-player game?
Yeah.
And weird. So there's like times, like you can race against your friends and stuff.
That's kind of cool.
So I didn't get into the beta, but if I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure the beta was like the first section of the game, and then there was like some multiplayer elements there, like you see people's times and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I guess the game is being delayed to get some of that feedback. I guess
that's fair.
That's just the shitty. It just reminds me of Mighty Number 9. Which, But like they keep delaying it for multiplayer reasons. To be, I mean, this
is that why Mighty Number 9 keeps being delayed?
Multiplayer.
Oh man,
what's
the multiplayer?
I don't know.
Because like the last delay, and according to rumors, it's going to be delayed again until the end of this year. And the last time it was delayed, he was like, "I have no excuses. I'm sorry." What's he going to say this time? He tried to start another Kickstarter for another game.
For a Mega Man Legends thing, and that went nowhere.
That went nowhere because people didn't trust him because his other game wasn't coming out.
Also, that Kickstarter was a fucking disaster.
Yeah, that did not do well, but it got picked up, so it is in development. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not gonna be surprised. Did you look up their investor?
Oh no, who was it?
I don't know either. Some weird Japanese site, but you go to their website and they got like, so they're building like a console thing. They use an Xbox One controller, and their website's got a picture of Master Chief and like the Witcher guy, and they're like, "Can't believe graphics console, 60 graphics, like just broken English." It's just like, oh man, I was like, don't be surprised if a year from now you realize that they took Keiji Inafune for a fucking ride. So I don't know. I guess that thing's coming out. Man, that Kickstarter was a fucking disaster.
It looked cool though. I thought it looked cool. It just wasn't ready.
They had a Kickstarter for an anime, and their minimal goal was for like an intro cutscene. It was fucking whatever, man.
He had way too much. I think Mighty Number 9 gave him too much cockiness.
I don't know. But then again, you hear these rumors about him being like this at Capcom too, and why Capcom got rid of him. He kept delaying games. But you know what? When you get the Kickstarter, that's what you get. Like that's probably Broken Age too. Like
that happens with a lot of Kickstarters,
right? Because like
they make more money than they promise more than they originally thought.
But that
then
too.
It becomes more difficult.
But then again, like you get these developers who are known internally to do this stuff, and then now they're public. You realize it too, and now guess what? Now you feel like the investor. Now you feel like the publisher. It's like, God damn it, give me fucking this Mega Man game right now.
I mean, Undertale was delayed like 2 years. That went on Kickstarter, and it was delayed like
sure, but that's not a developer that's known at that point.
And then another one
wasn't millions of dollars as well.
Another one was A Hat in Time. That's been delayed like 2 years.
Right, that's a 3D platformer, right?
Yeah, and I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, that game looks awesome.
But that keeps getting delayed because they made a lot of money and they had to keep promising like more and more stuff. And I think it's now in like a very new version of beta, and I think that might be coming out soon, but I'm not totally sure.
That game looks fucking rad as hell.
I'm so excited for that.
That was really cool. It's supposed to come out for Wii U, right?
That's the idea, but I don't think that's been like confirmed yet.
I don't even know. But yeah, how did we even get on this? Mirror's Edge, right?
Mirror's Edge.
New Mirror's Edge game's coming out. I'm really excited for it. Somehow Amazon glitched it, and I'm getting it for $9.
Oh.
So there you go. I'm excited.
Good for you.
Yeah. That new Mirror's Edge game, I don't know, man. I look at it, and I was really excited for it, but I don't know if I like how it looks. I don't know. I'm sure it'll be fine. I just have like some aesthetic choices, some UI choices I'm kind of questioning. There's like a trail now. I don't know. Whatever. There's some weird UI stuff with that. But yeah, I think that's all the news we're going to talk about. So we'll be right back. I'm going to talk about some of the games I played. Ryan didn't play anything in April, apparently.
Nope. School, sorry.
Yeah, none of us played Star Fox, which was the one thing we were probably both going to play. No one played that.
Nope.
So, we'll run down that real quick right when we come back. And we're back. I'm gonna try and rattle off some of the games of April real quick because Ryan didn't play anything.
So, I'm sorry.
Actually, there was one game we can talk about that we both played because it came out at the end of March because that's the end of their fiscal year. Bitomo.
Oh yeah.
So that's the app, the first DNA Nintendo mobile thing. It was pretty much a thing where you made a Mii, and it was like Tomodachi Life Lite is what it was.
Yeah.
You have a Mii and they sound weird, like, I like some new clothes! or some weird thing, and then you add friends, your real friends, and they have their Mii, and you say weird dumb shit like, oh, likes pizza. Wow, so cool. And then you get some coins.
Yeah, the whole point of it is you get asked these just completely random questions, and the point of it is just to learn about your friends.
Yeah.
Right. Which I like it. For me, the issue is no one else seems to like it. And it's a game where if you're not in a circle of people who are not constantly involved in that,
yes, if you're not,
there's no fun to be had.
There's no reason at all. So
yeah, it's very cute and charming.
Yes,
I love the customization of the Miis.
Yes, that's also
really
good.
Cool. And I think they have a very good idea of the in-app purchases.
Yeah,
like it looks big, but if you really want to customize your Mii, which is a completely like useless thing, it's just a fun thing, you can pay a lot of money to do that, and I think that's really smart. But again, the core thing about the game is
the interactions with your friends, and the problem with it is, like, some of the questions aren't that fun to answer, but my big problem is that it runs slow.
It does.
It chugs it kills your battery.
Mm-hmm.
It's also weird, like, you have to either do it face-to-face or through Facebook or Twitter, right?
Yeah. And
you have to be following or mutual friends.
Not through phone number, which is like the obvious thing for games like this.
Which is weird. But yeah, my big problem is, like, it's just the questions aren't that fun to answer, and you gotta answer questions to, well, the fun of it is there, supposedly. If you got some funny friends, it can be funny, but
what are you saying?
No, I'm just saying, like, I wish I could follow, like, famous people, like, who I follow on Twitter, who make good jokes and stuff.
Yeah, because they don't follow you back. It's...
Yeah.
Or because they don't have it.
Mm-hmm. I know, and that's how you get coins, which is how you get to buy purchases for your Mii.
Yeah.
But I feel like the whole thing feels like their first attempt. It's just kind of rough and slow. It has to load every time you, like, put it away. It takes like 10 seconds to load back up, and I don't know. It's really cute. It's Super Nintendo.
I think it's something they have talked about how they want it to be a constant thing, and like I said before, it has a lot of integration with their new Nintendo account thing. So I feel like Miitomo is going to be this thing that constantly evolves over time. I hope it goes into like a more Tomodachi-like thing.
Me too. I wish there was that whole island thing where you went
that'd be cool with like mini games that you actually played games in it. That'd be cool. But as it is right now, it's fun. It's fun at first, but then
there isn't that much to do, really.
Like, if it had like something else about it, like games or like more interaction with friends, then answering those questions and learning about your friends could just be like a part of this bigger thing. And I think that's what would make the game more fun. Because a lot of people downloaded it just because it's like, Nintendo, I'll give it a chance.
And it looked cute. Like, people recognize Mii's. Mii's.
It was a really smart move, but the problem with this game is they need an incentive to keep people on it.
Yeah.
And that's an issue.
Yeah.
I know very few people who still check it regularly. I mean, I go on there like every day or so, but I don't have, like, no one else really does it.
I think it's dead pretty much.
Only like really like Nintendo, really big Nintendo fans are.
Or when I make a dumb joke, like I see like some fucking sticker that says like "vape or die," and then I put my Mii there, just fucking crying or something. Like, the Mii stuff is fun. Like, I think the best part is the photo. Yeah, adding your Mii's into real photos. That's fun. That's fun times. Good times.
It's a really good editor, and you can do a lot with it.
Yeah.
But again, it's like how does Nintendo keep people
engaged
in this app?
And it's definitely not. The thing I will give them, it's not predatory in terms of you putting money in it. Mm-hmm. For a long time, I was like, I don't even know how do I even put money into this thing?
Yeah, it's like kind of hidden a little.
It's hidden, like, until you run out of money. Like, oh, okay, I want to buy this. Like, okay, well, you can buy coins to dress up your Mii.
Yeah.
Which, like, I guess if you want to make a good mobile game, which in that definition is like fucking monetize people, then it's
if
not
you want to
good.
get as much money as possible out of people, then it sucks.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, that's enough for me, Tomo. Dark Souls 3. It is a Dark Souls game. It is a very Dark Souls game, coming from Bloodborne, which I talked about in our first episode, which is my first Souls game. This is way more dense. It's just so much more. Like, Bloodborne's kind of like, it feels so much stripped down and way more forward. And this is like all over the place, and I don't know what the fuck's going on.
How far did you get in Dark Souls 3?
Right now, I am 25 hours in, level 50. I'm about halfway through. I think the game is about 60 hours. I don't know. I think I play those games very slow. I hear people talking about it. Like, how did you get... It's like, I'm 10 hours in and I fought this guy. I was like...
I don't know. I had some coworkers who were talking about it, and they were telling me that they had been on it for like hours and they hadn't beaten the first boss yet.
Maybe okay, so maybe people are just... Maybe people listen to on podcasts.
I think it's a very variable thing.
Yeah, because I'm also gone... I don't know if it's just because I've played this and Bloodborne now, but I feel like the description of this game is fucking hard. It's fucking hardcore. It's not hard. It's just... You just need to be slow. It's just slow, and you understand it. Then the hardness.
It's not a hack and slash game. It's more strategic than that.
Like I said, again, comparing it to Zelda, you lock onto someone and then you make that dance. Like you walk around them and then they slash and you find an opening. That's the game. And I think that's why people compare it to Dark Souls a little bit. Like that's the game. Like you walk up to an enemy. If you just go up to an enemy, just wreck shop and use your stamina, of course you're gonna get wrecked. But yeah, I feel like it's not interesting it's no longer just the hard game for hardcore people. There's a lot more interesting things what it does with like narrative. Like the narrative stuff is the most interesting thing about it. Like how you can piece together the story by reading item descriptions and listening to characters' dialogue, and then you connect the dots. And you're like, okay, I get that. Okay, I get that. So yeah, my experience with Dark Souls, what I have to say about it is a great game, awesome game, 100% recommended. It's good, super dense, really dense, especially that beginning area is so fucking dense. So yeah, I think that's all I'll say about Dark Souls. Great game, probably one of the best of the year. I don't know because this year looks fucking crazy. I'm looking at May. May looks fucking scary with how many video games are coming out. So moving on to Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, the for PS4 version, is what I imagine video games would have been like growing up at 10 years old. That's what I picture video games. It is fucking fantastic. Holy shit, man! Like it is like. Again, it's like from that future where like platforming games still were king, and like
that would have been a good
right. And just like great. Here's this fucking studio was given millions of dollars and like make a fucking awesome platforming game for this new console thing. That's what it looks like.
And they just cranked out Ratchet and Clank games, right?
Yeah. So like the problem with Ratchet and Clank and like why I feel like a reboot was necessary is like so we had the first 3 games for PS2, right? And those were seen as the core of the franchise. And then you had Deadlocked, which was a little bit of a weird arena serious game that wasn't very good. And you had the PS3 era of those games, right?
The Future series.
The Future series. And, like, those games were there because, well, the first game was there for, like, the PS3 needed a game. That game was the only good game for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think, and then when they had the last game of those 3 games, there was the first one, there was a DLC pack that they called it as a sequel. And the final game, at that point, you're like, this is the best Ratchet and Clank game. And that was around 2010-9. And then Ratchet and Clank went on this weird thing where they had some spin-offs. Like, there was Ratchet and Clank All for One, which sucked. There was Ratchet and Clank Full Frontal Assault, which was like a tower defense thing, which also sucked. There's Secret Agent Clank for the PSP, which is a weird spin, which is a fine game. But there's Ratchet. It feels like there's a Ratchet and Clank game every year. And they weren't very interesting, and so the series just burnt out. And that's what happened. And I think the last game was Into the Nexus, which is around 2013.
Yeah.
And that game just came out. It just came out.
Yeah,
like
no one really talked about that. And I thought that got like good reception.
Yeah, it was a budget title. It was like $30, and it was really short. But the whole time I was like, why does this exist? Because it feels like a short game. It was like 5 hours. 5 hours, $30 or 40, whatever. It came with another Ratchet game, actually. And I was just like, why does this exist though? Like this, like it's a fine game. It's like, don't you feel like you're like just making this because? But then again, maybe Insomniac needs the money, right? If Sony's like, hey, here's your Ratchet game. Sony's like, yeah, sure, we'll pay you. Then maybe they make it. But that was the problem. The series got burnt out. And so Into the Next was the last one up until this one. And now we're at a point where there's a new movie coming out, which a lot of people, including myself, would say that it feels like 10 years too late to make a Ratchet and Clank movie.
Definitely.
When it would have been better when you and me were growing up. But now we're at a point where, like, okay, now we can kickstart the series back. Let's put out a movie. Who knows if it'll be any good? It's Thursday, so I think we're watching it tonight, actually.
Yeah, we are.
So the review should be going up. They're probably up now.
There's a few I looked at. It's a little mixed.
And it's not even made by Sony?
No, it's made by
Rainmaker.
Some weird.
They made one Alien movie that wasn't very good.
Oh boy.
So again, and also, so we have this new movie, and at that point, Sony was like, okay, well, let's hire Insomniac to make a new Ratchet and Clank game because it sounds like they do it just for a paycheck. And they're like, okay, but no, let's remake that original game because this is a remake of that game, and it looks incredible. It's so familiar. Like, yep, this is that level in that game, and it's reimagined and looks extraordinary. And it just feels like, okay, let's reboot this series. Let's make a starting point where we can keep iterating, and it's fucking great.
So, do you think they're gonna keep? Is this like the start of a new era for them? Do you think they're gonna?
They
keep
could,
more?
like I said, if they wanted to, they could do that now. Like we have this game, and if they wanted to do it, let's say, in 2 years or so, I could see that. I think the key to keep the series going is don't burn it out like you did last time.
Yeah.
Keep it spaced out, you know. And it's $40. At $40, you're robbing Insomniac blind. This game is so good, man. It's like Nintendo fucking wonder. The animation is so good. It's so weird.
I remember I played the PS2 one a few years ago, and even then I was like, "This is amazing. I wish I had this as a kid."
Yeah, it's so good.
And I never beat it, unfortunately, because I had to give it back to you.
Yeah. And when I say animation, I actually mean the characters' animation. They're so crazy. I'm looking at the cutscenes, and I kind of feel like the game is more impressive than the movie because the game has some of the cutscenes for the movie. I think 30 minutes worth of the movie is in the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's weird. But yeah, wrapping it up, Ratchet and Clank is fantastic. It's everything I've wanted from Ratchet and Clank in the year 2016. So good. Let's talk about Axiom Verge came out for Vita. Axiom Verge was the Metroid, fucking Super Metroid-esque. Do you know Axiom Verge?
Not really.
Axiom Verge is this game made by Tom Happ, one guy. He made it in his spare time when he worked at EA, I believe. It's just him, pretty much. It's fucking Metroid. You're on this alien planet. There's gooey alien things everywhere.
Nice.
Fucking weird. Fucking. It's
I'm all about that.
It's Metroid. It's fucking Metroid. It's finally come to Vita, which I finally be able to play it because I always felt like that game was made for Vita, and it definitely is. It feels like something like a Metroid Fusion, or that's what it reminds me of. Metroid Fusion. Just real quick. It's a Metroid game. It doesn't do that much to distinguish itself, other than it's a very good tribute to Metroid. It's solid. It's paced well. It's mapped out well. Like I said, it doesn't do that much unique things. The soundtrack is fantastic. The art is great. It's because Metroid feels like it's super inspired by Alien.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, and this feels way more inspired by Alien than Metroid is. There's that weird Giger-esque.
Is it darker than Metroid? Does it have kind of that dark kind of dystopian feel to it, like the original?
I would say
had?
the darker. If Metroid again went more into that Giger-esque alien thing, you see fucking female face alien kind of thing,
that kind of weird sexual kind of thing.
Yes, okay, that's what it.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird as fuck. that's what it looks like. But yeah, Axiom Verge is coming to Wii U and Xbox One soon. Ooh. It is a fucking damn good Metroid game. It's really good. Two games I want to give a quick shout out. There's a game called Loud on Planet X. These two are indie games that I think are small, but really worth your time. Loud on Planet X is a rhythm game where there's 5 lanes and you shoot aliens. So it's it's Plants vs. Zombies, right? You have this band here, and then enemies are coming forward. And in order to shoot those enemies, you have to hit a button at the rhythm of a song, right? And then you would shoot a laser and kill that enemy. So let's say R1, X, circle, whatever, and you just hit it to the beat of a song. It's kind of like drumming. I say the actual beat, the boom, boom,
okay,
boom, boom. And a rhythm game isn't that exciting, but I think the lineup that they got for this game blows away. Amplitude came out earlier, and this game is what I wanted. It's got churches, fucking. Tegan and Sarah, Metric.
It has real people, not just.
It has fucking awesome indie bands. The soundtrack
cool.
is killer. It's only on PS4 right now and PC. It's also on mobile. I would highly recommend it. It's $6, and the soundtrack is so killer. It's just fun to listen to some good music and play some video game to it. Lovely Planet was the other small game I want to give a quick shout out to. It is a first-person, super happy Japanese fucking kawaii-ass looking game with this super awesome, super Japanese soundtrack. But it's still a first-person shooter, and like Quake, Unreal Tournament first-person shooter. Like you have to do quick turns and stuff to kill these little square guys who are angry, and you kill them like Japanese like little characters come out like doi desu, whatever the fuck. But yeah, lovely planet. I guess it is a first-person shooter. You walk around, shoot these square guys. I mean, it's very simple, and it's also run-based. Like, you have to do it in, like, a certain time, and you get 3 stars or 2 stars, sort of like a mobile game. There's not much to say about that game, but I just think it's the weird Japanese-esque, how fucking happy and eccentric it is when it really is this hardcore Quake-esque game. It's just so weird. Because even though it is so cute, this is fucking Quake. This is fucking Quake. But, I guess the last game I wanted to talk about was Severed. And this game I really want to talk about, because I've been excited for this game for a long time. So, Guacamelee. That's a game I've been asking you to play for, like, ever, Ryan.
You gave it to me.
I did give it to you.
I
you
still
haven't played it.
Yet. I'll get to it someday.
So, Guacamelee is like a Metroidvania, like, Mexican-style game. You play as a luchador, and you walk around through these, like, different levels and like get abilities which let you go to this next area in this game and this of the game. Again, very Metroid-esque. And they made that game, and this is their next game. It is a Vita exclusive, so that means no one's gonna play it. But
nice,
yeah, it is a first-person dungeon crawler. Again, it's got that Mexican style of art. You play as a girl who like her family got murdered, and your arm got cut off, which is why it's called Severed. And your baby's been taken. He's going to get sacrificed to some fucking god thing. Again, like, it is a first-person dungeon crawler, and the main hook of the game is that it's a touch-based game. I would compare it to Infinity Blade. So you walk around this dungeon, and you come to enemies, and then the enemy has a pattern, right? Like, it's blocking this way, so you swipe over here, and then it's doing this other thing. It's like, okay, that requires you to swipe like this, or whatever. Like, it's all timing-based and stuff. It doesn't sound that fantastic, but I think what they do with that art style and their soundtrack is so fucking weird. Like, it's a mixture of, I'd say, like Mandarin fucking drums and like some weird techno stuff. The art style is like, I think what really sells it, and like being in that world and how like kind of trance-like that combat is with the swiping. It's fucking really good. I think probably the last big Vita game probably as well. I think that's all I want to talk about.
Last big Vita game?
Probably. I don't know. I mean, there's like other indies, like Vita exclusive. At this point, it's Vita exclusive. I mean, it's a game you could picture it coming to Wii U.
But it won't, because more people have a Vita.
Yeah, sure. And I could see it on mobile, but the thing is, like, the game works because the Vita has an analog stick. Like, you move with the analog stick.
Yeah.
In a mobile game, you would have to put a fake analog stick, and that's all.
That's never good. That's never good.
And that's the thing that makes it work, because it doesn't feel cumbersome. Like, you just walk and you move here. It all feels very smooth, and you move up to the next enemy or secret. I think that's what works about it. I think like putting on a mobile game on a mobile platform would be really cumbersome. Probably wouldn't work. But on the Wii U, you got that screen right there. You just like swipe right there. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, you would only play on the gamepad at that point. Like, there would be no point for the TV. But I could see it working on a Wii U. And I would hope it goes to other places so it sells well. But yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. So, that's all the games I played in April. Fucking wild. That's a lot of games. I'd say Dark Souls, Ratchet and Clank are probably the standouts there. Then there's May, which is foofa doofa. This got a lot of games.
You're real excited for the May. I'm less excited.
I'm excited for it, but I can only afford so much.
That's true. Because a lot of these are like the big titles.
They're all big titles, pretty much. So, in the beginning of May, we see Uncharted 4. The next Uncharted game, which I'm playing just because it's an Uncharted game. I don't know. I feel like... I don't know what everyone's expectations are with Uncharted, because I feel like everyone plays like, oh, it's the next Naughty Dog game. It's a new Uncharted game. It's going to look fucking awesome. The voice acting's going to be great.
But is there a lot of hype around this? I don't know.
Other than it's just an Uncharted game. Like, because it's, like, hard to get excited for Uncharted. I was going to buy it. And like,
it's going to be good, but...
It's an Uncharted game.
Where's Crash Bandicoot?
Sure, yes, that's what it is. Like, we're all really just buying this to get the message so we can complain to Naughty Dog. That was good, I get it. But
it's not Crash Bandicoot.
Let's really get into it. I want you to crash into me. I want you to... Yeah. So, yeah, Uncharted 4, I'm excited for it just because it's a new Naughty Dog game. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure it's fine, I guess. I don't know. It's just fun. It's just the graphics and that presentation and, like, how exciting things are. Like, that's, like, there's some, like, those scenes in Uncharted 2 are fucking wild. You haven't played it, but there's a train scene that is, like, infamous for being so exciting and grand. So it's just the spectacle of Uncharted, which I'm excited for, which everyone's excited for. It's just to be in, like, that focused in single-player adventure. That's so exciting.
Which is always good.
Yeah. Got the new Doom.
Oh, no.
Which, well, Ryan, you saw that Doom gameplay at E3, and you were like, I'm not getting anything from this.
I watched it, and I was like, this looks like the most fucking hyper-masculine bullshit I've ever seen. But to the point where it's trying so hard to be that where it almost seemed funny to me. But then I heard people online be like, oh, it was so cool. Oh, man, it's like, it looks to me like it's trying too hard to be crazy. To the point of parody. Right,
so, like, you would hope, like... So the original Doom was this super fucking metal fucking thing. It was just, like, Megadeth sounding fucking...
But it had, like, that weird appeal to it because it was, like, that old school... like first ever like PC shooter where it had that weird art style to it, and I feel like that's what gave Doom like its.
And even looking back on it now, it's still like we're past the point where Doom was like, oh, it's a first person shooter. But now we're at the point where like, no, this game is designed. Like the design for that game is fucking solid.
Yeah, it's cool, but for this, it seems like it's copying weird stuff out of modern shooters that I don't like.
So
it has this weird hyper-masculine stuff that I also don't care about.
So I am willing to dumb myself down and play a Doom game because it looks kind of cool. But I played the multiplayer beta, which isn't made by id. That's made by another team. They outsourced the multiplayer section.
Weird.
Yeah, and I was like, I played and I was like, this does not feel like those games. It does not feel like something like Quake or Doom. It feels modern as fuck. And I was just like, this isn't... Like, you have a health bar. I was like, okay, that's cool. Health bars, I'm down. That's what I want.
That's very Doom,
I want health bars. And you can choose to have a rocket launcher. And it's just like... this is a wimpy-ass rocket launcher, and it doesn't feel as fast as I wanted to. It just did not feel like Doom. It felt like a modern... Well, maybe not like Call of Duty, but it sure felt a little bit more modern than it felt like Doom or Quake. It didn't feel like Quake. Like... Quake and Doom are made on like pretty much on the same thing, same team, right?
Yeah.
And I expected it to feel like Quake, and it doesn't feel like that. Granted, it's not made by the same team, but I don't know. I don't even know if I'm going to play it actually because it comes out the same week as Uncharted. I don't know why. I was really excited for Doom. That E3 thing, I was one of those people who was just like, fucking yeah, fucking shit, that's bad.
Fucking linear ass piece of shit. That's what I want to play.
Yeah, but now I'm just like, I don't know, man. It's going to be good. Like Wolfenstein came out, and everyone was like, that game looks so fucking forgettable, who cares? And it came out, and it's like, this actually has a really interesting story, and like the things it does with characters are pretty fascinating. And
but did it do well? I don't remember.
It did do very well, because that was 2014 after the consoles launched, and there was nothing.
So it was like, I guess I got it.
Yeah, and people played it kind of like, oh, I guess I have to play this. But then when they played it, I was like, this game's actually pretty interesting. And like, but it doesn't seem like there's going to be the... Like, listen, not every game has to be smart or insightful or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine, but...
But then again, it's like, is Doom going to be able to keep that momentum up? Like, can it still, like... Is it going to be exciting every time? Can it keep, like, a cool boss... Like, is it just going to be a shooting gallery?
Because Doom 4, the issue with that people had was it felt...
You mean 3?
Oh, yeah, Doom 3, sorry.
This is technically Doom 4.
This is technically Doom 4, yeah. But Doom 3 was that whole, like...
It was a horror game, pretty much.
It was a horror game, pretty much. And it went the wrong direction, but it was also weirdly
It was also really too long. That was the biggest problem with it.
So Doom 4 is, like... The new Doom is, like, it's saying, oh, we're going back to the roots, but yet it feels very modern and not...
It feels more like a poser.
Yeah.
Like, another part... another part, I'm actually reading A Masters of Doom right now, which is the book about John Romero and John Carmack, the team that made Doom, and them. And those guys are fucking dudes. Those guys are fucking dudes.
I can imagine.
Yeah, they're fucking making Commander Keen listen to fucking Metallica and all this fucking... Well, John Carmack's writing weird fucking cartoons of some guy being exploded or whatever. So that original game was that feeling like just fucking metal, you know what I'm saying? But this one kind of feels like it's posing. Like, it's just one little thing that it bothered me so much. Like, one of the taunts in the multiplayer is he gives out the devil horns. Like, fucking yeah! I was like, fuck off!
Brutal Legends.
Yeah, so fucking cool. Fucking man, yeah, it's fucking hardcore. It's just like, fuck off, man.
Because that stuff worked in, like, the early 90s for those shooters because it was like, oh, this is what games can do. Games can be, like, this cool thing. They're not just for kids. But this is, like... We've had this before, and now it's trying...
Like, if you're gonna go... Like, if it's gonna go to Doom, like, I wanted to just fucking go. Like, Doom was about, like, the fucking...
Oh, yeah!
No, it was, like, about the fucking worshipping of Satan and the fucking... All this shit. Like, I wanted to, like, fucking dark, like, this fucking demon, whatever.
I want this to also get banned everywhere else. I want that.
I don't know.
But... I don't know. It looks... Especially that first trailer, going back to that, it looked so stupid.
I don't know.
It was like it felt very linear and like weird, and you throw the hand on the thing and it opens up the door, and he's like, "Oh yeah!" The crowd's going, "Oh yeah!"
I don't know.
It's like, shut up.
I kind of want a dumb shooter. Well, actually, I just want a story-based first-person shooter. Like Wolfenstein came out, and like that was damn good. That was a good game. So I hope it turns out well. I might not get it because it comes out that week.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about it. It's like, man, that seems like a bad week.
This might be something that.
But then again, you're like,
you pick up like later in the summer,
right?
Maybe. Yeah,
right. But then again, because you look at it like Bethesda's situation, like, well, where do we put this game, right? Because like, it's also weird that it's out now. It feels like just like yesterday that it was announced and like properly revealed, and now it's here. But I don't know. It's like, where do you put it? Right?
Yeah.
So, also coming out next month is Homefront: The Revolution. And I just want to bring this game up because I cannot wait to see what this game turns out. Because, Ryan, do you know the story of Homefront 2?
No.
Do you remember Homefront, the original?
A little bit.
Okay, so Homefront was this game published by THQ, made by Chaos Studios.
Uh-huh.
It was a game that was super heavily marketed. Like, the marketing was fucking insane. Like, they put so much money, as THQ was known to do. Especially during that latter half when it's like, it's fucking coming down. It's all crumbling down. Fucking Saints Row 3 E3, fucking Booth Babe, Car Wash. Got fucking Nikki Benz.
Oh, man.
Porn star Nikki Benz, fucking whatever the hell. But anyways, so yeah, that came out. That was a huge marketing thing, and the game was bad. It was a bad game. It was like 2 hours long, and the multiplayer was kind of good. And you get stories that the workers were overworked as fuck to push this game out for release. And it sold well, but it was a garbage game because of the marketing.
Yeah.
And then THQ goes under. They were working on a sequel to that game, right? And then THQ went out of business. So everything went for sale. At that point, Crytek, makers of the Cry engine, and Crysis bought the rights for Homefront. And so then they're like, okay, so Crysis is making this game, right? And then they showed that trailer at E3 2014, I believe. It was like, hey, we're making this game. And then, out of nowhere, it found that Crytek's in trouble. I don't know if you remember this. But there was like a month where it was like, actually, Crytek is falling apart.
Yeah, I remember hearing a lot about that.
Like, people weren't getting paid, and like shit was just like really quiet. Nothing was like.
Which is a shame because you think of Crytek as like
this big fucking publisher who's like pushing like graphics and stuff. But the truth is that no one's using their engine. Crysis 2 and 3 didn't sell well.
They talk about how their engine is like so great, but no one really uses it.
No one uses it because it's such a pain in the ass to use.
Yeah.
And then, no one's buying Crysis 2 and 3. Rise, fucking...
Oh, Rise.
That's a fucking flashback. You're like, man. Fucking Rise. Oh, man. But yeah.
That game makes my dick rise.
Yeah. So now Crytek was in trouble. It's like, this is coming down. But then out of nowhere, someone came in and bought Crytek. And it was like, okay, so everything's good. We're good.
Maybe.
They moved some things around. But during that whole thing, they're like, all right, we can't make this game anymore. It has to move on. Well, I think that was before they got purchased, where they're like, they were going to start liquidating things. And Homefront was...
It got liquidated again.
Got liquidated. And so Homefront's is there, and then Deep Silver comes in and gets it.
Deep Silver's making it.
Yeah, Deep Silver is publishing it. I think they were publishing for Crytek as well at that point.
Oh.
And so Deep Silver now owns this property, and they're like, okay, whatever. I think at that point, yeah, Crytek was still working it. Right, so Crysis, now remember, Crytek gave up the IP, and then Deep Silver got it. But they're like, hey, can you guys still make the game, though? And they're like, sure.
Why not?
And then, no, we're not making it anymore.
Oh.
So now, Deep Silver committed. They're like, well, we have this IP now. And so then they went to go on and make a studio out of, like, the remnants of some of the Darksiders people, I think. I might be wrong about that. No, out of the people that Crytek fired from working on Homefront that they couldn't pay. They hired them back on
to work on the
game
that
they
killed them.
They killed them, yes.
Smart move, guys.
And now the game is coming out in May, and I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I don't know what this game's going to be, and I don't even know if it can't sell well. How is it going to sell well in the month that fucking Uncharted, Doom, we're going to get to Overwatch. Overwatch is going to fucking...
That's going to destroy
everything.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that the people who worked on it now were the people who whose fingers fell apart by typing up the code for
and then
this.
they didn't get paid for it, and then they were jobless, and they're like, actually no, come back and work.
That thing that destroyed you, come back and finish it.
So yeah,
you know what's keeping you up at night, so just finish it.
I hadn't even seen any marketing. I think there was a beta that went on for it.
Huh.
And I think Deep Silver is falling into this fucking THQ stuff. I guess some of the press said that they send out phones, because the whole thing is like the South Korea fucking, that's what Homefront's about. Like, South Korea, whatever. Or North Korea, sorry, not South Korea.
North Korea. Okay.
North Korea came in and take over everything. And so a bunch of people got...
South Korea's taking over all their crazy music.
Yeah.
And they're pop stars,
man. Pop stars are going to come take off. But yeah, so apparently a bunch of press said they got a phone in the mail, and it said from North Korea, and we're like, I'm not opening
this phone.
I'm going to get fucking activated. And it turns out, no, it's just a fucking PR thing. And they're like, but why?
That's a terrible PR thing. Are you kidding me?
And then it's like, why? Now I have this phone. I was like, it reeks of THQ. Like, just sending, like, come over here. We're going to fly you over. You can hang out with some hot chicks and shit. And it's just like, oh, I
like Deep Silver. That's a weird move for them.
Do you like Deep Silver?
Deep Silver makes some cool stuff.
I guess.
They make interesting stuff.
Deep Silver's existence is weird. They fucking hit gold with Dead Island, and now they're a thing.
I mean...
Publishing Mighty Number 9. That's working out well for them.
It will probably...
Dead Island 2? Man, you want to get the Dead Island 2 is the same can of worms, man. That whole studio is gone. I don't even know what they're doing. That whole game is not the same game anymore. I don't even know, but...
Look, I think Deep Silver could make something cool. I think they have the right ideas, but I don't think they execute everything.
We'll see how this game turns out. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know, but I don't think it'll be worth the trouble and the money that went into this whole deal. How many hands it's exchanged and how many people worked on it. Because I
can't believe that game got liquidated twice.
Because this would technically be the third studio that worked on the game. Because there was Chaos Studios, then Crytek, and then I think this new studio is called fucking like, I don't know, something. It's got like a fucking bullet bill on their logo. I don't know. Something like bold. I don't know. Something like fucking strong ass games. I don't know. Moving on. We're fucking rambling off. Valkyria Chronicles comes to PS4. Valkyria Chronicles was a beloved PS3 game that people really, really liked. It sold well. It was like before the PS3, before the Slim, so it was still fat PS3 gen.
Oh, okay.
So things weren't going well, but there was this one game, strategy game, that was really good. And it had a sequel on PSP, and another game that never came to America. It's a really good tactics game that people really liked, and somehow got a PC port, like last year, I believe. And it did fucking great. It's just weird because Sega didn't see it coming.
Yeah, a lot of people got that on PC.
Yeah, because
it was like a hugely popular game on Steam.
Yeah, because Sega was like, "You fucking nerds keep asking us for this game. We're gonna put it out. You're not gonna buy it. We'll prove you wrong." And then everyone bought it. Everyone bought it. And so now it's coming to PS4, and there's a sequel being made. So yeah, I'm excited. I might. Who knows? I might give it a try. Probably not in May because it's so hectic.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, I'm totally down for a cool Japanese strategy game. It looks really cool. It looks tasteful. It looks smart. So yeah, the sequel, I don't know about that. It's got some big boob nonsense going on.
Oh man, oh yeah.
So yeah, Overwatch comes out the week after that, I think. But Overwatch has the beta in the beginning of the month. which is the same week.
I might try for that.
So Overwatch, this is the next game, the first big new IP from Blizzard.
Yeah.
Rising from the ashes of Titan, the failed MMO that Blizzard was working on. It is a first-person shooter that is very much in the vein of Team Fortress, OG Team Fortress, Unreal Tournament, and Quake. So do you know a little bit about this game? I know that it's a first-person shooter.
I know it's a first-person shooter. I know there was some controversy with one of their main characters.
Nah, fuck off.
But yeah, who cares about that right now?
But the thing is,
I've seen some gameplay, and it looks interesting.
You don't like first-person shooters.
You see, the thing is, I've been looking. Recently, I've been thinking I want to try a first-person shooter again. I want to see. Every few years, I get in that feeling. I want to try a first-person shooter again.
Maybe there's something to this.
Maybe there's something here. And I was looking around at first-person shooters that are coming out recently or that have came out recently. I was like, you know what? Out of all this, I think Overwatch might be the one.
That's true. It is probably the most exciting one, right?
It looks interesting.
It's colorful.
It looks colorful, which I'm all about. And I know enough people who are also interested in it.
Yeah.
So that might be interesting for that because I'll have people to play it with.
It's a Blizzard property, so it's a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Like a really big deal. Like this game is fucking. I just watched ads. The game's not even out, and they're marketing their beta.
Yeah,
because it's an open beta. But yeah, no. Like I said, I didn't know about this until I was watching some of the GameSpot was doing a documentary series about Blizzard making this game after Titan and what it means. I was like, I thought it was more always like a MOBA, but it's not. It's like
it's like a straight up shooter.
It's a shooter, like classic shooter, like fucking Unreal Tournament, which I love Unreal Tournament.
I first heard about this when I was like in my deep addiction to Hearthstone phase.
Right, because it's a Blizzard property.
Because it's a Blizzard property, and that popped out. I was like, oh, that's interesting. I looked at it, I was like, that actually looks like it could be cool if I was good at shooters.
Right.
And now that I wanted into a shooter, that's definitely a game I'm interested in trying out.
It looks cool. I don't know if maybe I'll try it out. I don't know because it is a $60 release on console. Is it a $60 release on PC?
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it.
I know it's a $60 release on consoles, but there is an open beta at beginning of May, which it's going to be a fucking huge deal. At least the way they're marketing it, it's fucking.
I need to try and get into that beta. I need to definitely try to get into that.
Yeah, comes out the same week as Battleborn. Battleborn. I skipped that game. I skipped that game.
I forget about that game.
That game, man. I'm sure that game's gonna be fine. That game is gonna be bad news for Gearbox. I think that game's not gonna do well.
Definitely not. No.
It's very similar to Overwatch. Similar in the same way that it is it's based on characters, but the beta comes out the same week as that game comes out, and I think that game's gonna be really bad.
Yeah, I think Overwatch is gonna.
I feel bad for them. I'm sure the game's gonna be good, but man, that game's gonna not go well at all. I
think it'll be average.
I think it's gonna be a fun game, but I don't think anyone's gonna buy it.
That's true.
I don't think anyone's gonna buy it because the Overwatch hype is real.
It's very real, yeah.
So yeah, Overwatch. Then after that, the Ninja Turtles game made by Platinum comes out, which all signs point to it being a smaller, middle game. But hey, it's Platinum. I love Ninja Turtles. I'm excited to see what they do. That Transformers game is fucking dope.
Is it the same Platinum team that's worked on that?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, that's encouraging.
It sounds like that team is just getting moved on. It pretty much sounds like, hey, you guys need to keep our lights on, so go to Activision, get a property, fucking, I don't know, Ghostbusters the game, which is actually a thing that's coming out, but I don't know who's making it.
Are they making a new Ghostbusters game?
Yeah, a licensed game with the with the new cast.
With the new lady Ghostbusters.
Yeah, but the game looks bad. But.
Well then.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles. I know very little about it. I saw some gameplay. I was like, it looks interesting.
Is it based off the new movie?
No,
or is it its own thing? Okay,
own thing.
That's good.
Not even the cartoon. It seems like they're just taking stuff from the comic books. The art style.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's totally cool. Like the art style, it's not. I can't really trace it back to the cartoon or the show. I'd say it's closer to the original comic run. Not exactly, but it's a lot more harder, edgier kind of thing. But it also, again, it looks like a middle tier game. It looks like they didn't have the biggest budget. It's a little empty and a little, but it could be a good ride. It sounds Transformers is a good 5-hour experience. It's $50, I believe. Of course, if you have Amazon Prime, it's $40. But so that's a small barrier of entry. I'm looking forward. I hope it's good. I could use a good Ninja Turtles game.
There haven't really been a lot of good ones recently. Or maybe ever, at least until since Turtles in Time, I think.
Since the arcade game, yeah. I'm sure there was a one. I think the Ubisoft game was okay.
They had like I remember just that one Xbox Live one did terribly.
Oh fuck yeah! There was like two bad ones. There was one for like the last summer of arcade.
Yeah,
that game was shit.
That's the one I remember.
Oh, that was
like,
bad.
oh, that's just. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that was like the 4-player one. Yeah, that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
And then there was a remake of 4, the arcade one, and that was also bad.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. People did not like that.
And then there was some Way Forward stuff, which I think is fine for a Way Forward.
Way Forward makes some pretty solid stuff.
They do like alright licensed things. They're like it's passable. Like again,
as far as licensed games goes,
they're better than average.
Stuff.
They're not great and maybe not even good, but they're alright.
Their Adventure Time game.
The first one was good.
The first one was amazing.
Yeah,
I loved that game.
Yeah, and then they were given like Explorer Dungeon because
and then they also make the Shantae games, right?
Yes, that's their that's their bread and butter.
Yeah, I just recently got the Shantae game on the Wii U.
I'm still waiting for that fucking. Did you get that off the Humble Bundle?
I did.
Yeah,
that was a pretty good bundle.
I
also have Darksiders 2, baby, everyone's favorite.
Wait, did you get Freedom Planet with that then?
Yeah, I'm excited for that too.
Sweet, that game looks good. So yeah,
that's a game you should definitely get.
Yeah, I know that game looks tight. So yeah, I think that wraps it up for the podcast. Maybe went on a little longer than I expected there.
There was a lot of news and a lot of...
Well, the Nintendo news was really fascinating to really delve into.
Yeah, that was a weird day yesterday when they announced all that.
Right? It was like weird. I didn't expect, because usually last year it was just that was when they announced the NX.
Yeah.
And the rest of it was kind of small.
It was mostly weird just because it came... Like, I woke up... I think everyone woke up that morning to that news because it happened at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, there were some fucking crazy people who stayed up late because
I thought about doing that. I was like, no, I was like,
this can't be that news. It can't be that big, right?
And it turned out to be. It wasn't big news. It was just weird, kind of like disappointing news.
It was weird. Like it was weird how they had to get this in front of their investors, and they just kind of put it out there. I was like, okay, cool. The NX coming out. This. We have nothing to tell you at all. But we will later. So yeah, I don't know, man. Nintendo stuff bums me out just thinking about it.
I feel like every time we've talked about Nintendo on the show, it's never been good, and that really sucks.
Hopefully, as Tokyo Mirage, I have too high hopes for that game. I truly think it's gonna be great.
I am super excited for that.
That game
I've been
reeks
excited
of Persona.
for that since they first announced it. Where they showed us nothing.
Yeah, and then they showed the revision. I was like, I'm totally on board with this. But there's a lot of people who's like, fucking anime! And then the people were like, yeah, I love anime. But then you had the really weird anime crowd.
We want to stay away from
17-year-old. Yeah.
They raised the ages, though.
They did. Yeah, but they're just people who are like,
sense.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it feels so much like Persona. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited about, oh man, like that whole it's such a dumb cheesy thing, like especially Persona 4, like is like you have a normal school day and you like have relationships and stuff, and then at night you turn into these fucking superheroes, and it's really dumb and anime and nerdy, but I'm really excited for it, and I'm totally down. It's aesthetic, it's colors.
Oh yeah, I love
music.
The art.
Oh my god,
oh man,
totally did. I really want that special edition. So yeah, that's a podcast. Not a lot of game. Well, Ryan didn't play a lot of stuff. No. News.
I'm gonna play more this month.
I mean, yeah, you're on breakish.
I'm out of school after next week. So
exciting times. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, for Jurge, Ryan, video games. I'm Jurge.
I am the Ryan.
Bye.
Bye.